Welcome to Phil Wilson Chats with Celebrities. And here's your host, Phil Wilson.
Emerging artist, writer, singer, narrator, DJ and self-taught composer Andre Paul presents his new single, We're Here to Stay, produced by world-renowned music maestro Stuart Epps. The single is a heart-wrenching anthem about deforestation's devastating impact on primate habitats. Written from a chimpanzee's perspective, this emotive ballad showcases Andre Paul's ability to craft beautiful songs and music that inspire action and compassion. And Andre Paul joins me now to tell us all about it. How are you doing, Andre?
Hello, yes, hi. Thank you for having me on your radio show.
No problem at all. It's a privilege to have you on the show because as soon as I was shown videos of your music, you know, and the association that music and also animals and the planet around us actually is something that you're, making music and showing people the plight of the planet as well, which is very refreshing.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's been a lot of work, but we're getting some good results now from my music.
And we're going to be chatting about your music, solidly over the next moment or two. Now, is music something that you fell into, or have you always been a musician?
No, I haven't actually. When I was younger, I was about as musical as a potato, to be honest.
Right.
I think the best I could drum up on any sort of keyboard was the Jean-Michel Jarre theme. Or the little theme from Close Encounters, you know.
That's complicated, though. A bit of oxygen there, or Close Encounters.
Yeah, exactly. So I was as good as I got, really, to be honest. And I couldn't play a keyboard, really. I can't read music or anything like that. But unfortunately, obviously, when things happen with families, as our families age, my mother was diagnosed with dementia, and she ended up in a care home. And right. This is where the roots really all started, because my father was actually a church organist for as long as I can remember. Anyway, he used to do weddings and things for the local churches where we used to live, which is in Windsor in Berkshire.
Right.
And I wasn't really interested in the music. Okay, my dad had a big organ at home where he used to practice. It was more my brother, to be honest, who was really sort of like into the organ playing with my father and stuff. I was more interested in sort of messing around with Lego and making things and stuff like that. but anyway, cut a long story short, basically my father was entertaining the guests in the care home, and one day there was a Casio keyboard on the top there, just a little cheapie, you know, that you get on eBay. And my father said, "Go on, have a play." And I was so shy. I was like, "No, I don't want to play. Go on, play your Jean-Michel Jarre." So I did. And the wonderful thing about it was I played this little tiny bit of music and very badly, you know, and I got a little round of applause from the guests, which is great, you know. Like, oh,
wow.
Okay. And it sort of stirred something inside me. So my dad said, "Why don't you start just playing a little bit," and all that sort of thing. Come around on my dad had a big organ at home sort of thing. And that is where it all started. So I concentrated on like the wartime hits. Just to basically learn the simples of a wartime hit, so like Glenn Miller and all that sort of stuff, you know, American Patrol and that sort of stuff. And the wonderful thing about a keyboard is it's different to a piano because, yes, it looks like a piano, but on the left hand, you've got all the accompaniment and on the bass chords. So you've got the whole orchestra playing behind you on the left hand. And on the right hand, you play the melody. And this is how I learned everything. I sort of progressed, you know, just backing up my father playing like the odd time pretty badly. Just playing these like little wartime hits and stuff. But every time I used to get a little round of applause. And as the years went on, this was 2015, I think it was back then.
Right.
And after about a year's worth of playing, I was started to get fairly sort of competent, I think is the word.
Yes.
In holding my own, and of course the audience started to grow and get a little bit bigger and that sort of thing. My father said to me, "Look, you've hit the limit with this Casio keyboard." I said, "We need to get you a real keyboard." And that's when we invested money and we went and bought a Yamaha Tyros. Tyros 4 it was called, which is much more up to date. Obviously a much more expensive instrument. And this is when it really started to came on, because you got a whole band behind you with the keyboard sounds, and of course the melody. And I was practicing like a mad. 2 hour maximum I could do was like 2 hours a day before I was absolutely exhausted. But I was starting to actually get quite good, and my audience base sort of grew, and I was entertaining the guests down at the care home once a week. And eventually, after a couple of years of doing this, I ended up with a good 1.5 hour set that I could play.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So it was all like a massive sort of like rush of playing, learning new. But I was quite lucky because I'm quite clever, and because I can't read music, I'm a play by ear person. So if you were to play a piece of music, you would spend 10 minutes, what chord's that, A, B, C, or D. And once you work out the chords, you've got the melody, and you're away, you've got it. And you practice it, and there it is. Very simple. And it just went absolutely bonkers, entertaining the guests and that sort of thing. And word got out that I was doing this. And when I was actually playing there, the little hall that they have in the care home was absolutely full. You get the old...
Yeah,
you get the pensioners sort of jigging around with their Zimmer frames to Glenn Miller in the mood and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun, it really was. And it just went from then and spiraled on and on and on. It kept going. And a care home next door to where my mother was staying got wind of what I was doing. And they asked if I could do them as well. Obviously, with care homes, it's all voluntary. There's no money. I just said I'd love to. It's an hour and a half once a week. If not a week, if I'm busy at work, a weekend sort of thing. And then the local paper, and then suddenly the local paper turned up. And look at my real name's Andrew Deneen, obviously. And come and look at Andrew Deneen entertaining the guests, and a picture of me playing my keyboards, to entertaining all sorts of people and stuff. And it just grew and grew and grew. And just before COVID hit, I was playing 3 care homes once a week.
My goodness.
And entertaining people with this Glenn Miller sort of wartime set. It was so popular, it really was. And obviously, as we know, COVID hit. And when COVID hit, that was the end of all of it. It just went downhill. Obviously, there's no entertainment to play to. No. For 2 years, we couldn't even get into the care homes. So, unfortunately for me, I lost my parents during COVID, both of them.
Oh, right. Sorry to hear.
And I actually gave up music completely when this happened. I completely lost all interest in, music. I sold the keyboards on eBay during COVID. I just wasn't interested at all, because obviously I've lost my parents. There was no outlet for it. Heartbroken is the best way to sort of describe it.
Of course, yes.
So I didn't really look at much music until sort of like last year, believe it or not.
Right.
I was quite unwell for a couple of years, last year and the year before.
Yes.
And I needed to have an operation in hospital. And while I was waiting to have the operation, I was sort of on light duties at work, working 2 to 3 days a week, part-time.
Yes.
And that's when I thought, well, I'm at home, I've got nothing to do. So I decided I'm going to go buy another Casio keyboard again. But
great.
Any musician listening would understand that if you have a big break, say 3 years of not touching a keyboard, it's amazing how rusty you get, and it all goes.
Yes.
I pretty much forgot absolutely everything. So anyway, I bought this Casio keyboard and I started to practice again. And within sort of 6 months, I was back to where I was, which was fantastic. But the problem
it is really quick, that.
Yeah, but the problem is this time I didn't have any outlet. I wasn't doing any more entertaining because I had no need to go to the care home, because obviously my parents had passed away. And this is where I came up with a crazy idea, because I was watching Glastonbury, And so I like watching the festivals. You watch Glastonbury on TV.
Yes,
And
it's really good. A big
Yeah.
variety in the Isle of Wight Festival, yes.
Yes, and the Isle of Wight Festival as well. And it sort of inspired me. Sort of what you see, sort of like Neil Tennant at the Isle of Wight Festival playing, the Pet Shop Boys, who I'm a great fan, obviously. And I said, I would like to do that. How can I do that? I can play a keyboard. And I started to ring around and make some inquiries about, making some music and getting it professionally recorded. I didn't have the foggiest idea about how to release a record, how to produce a record. And just by off chance, I rang up a studio which is in Cookham in Berkshire, which is near I live. And this is how I met my record producer, Stuart Epps. Now,
amazing.
Stuart Epps is a renowned record producer. He was Elton John's record producer, obviously. He's worked with many, many, many famous artists over the years. And he obviously said, send a demo in, send them what you got, have a sing,
Yeah.
Oh dear is all I can say. The music was fine, but the vocals weren't. It sounded like somebody strangling a cat. And so I said, I rubbed my hands together and I quickly took my USB stick to what I've recorded, sort of thing. And Stuart rang me up and he says, oh dear, I'm really sorry. Almost a Simon Cowell moment where you can't sing. The music was good, obviously, because it's created on a digital instrument. But you can't sing. I'm sorry. And Stuart was very honest with me. He said, you can't sing. The vocals are terrible. But he said, that's not the end of it all. He said, we could get a singer to sing it at the time. And I said, but I didn't really want that. So I left it a while.
Yes.
I just left it a while. And just as it sort of happened, I was looking, always looking, because I've created these music tracks that I've written.
Yes.
But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how, I couldn't sing it. And funny enough, I was watching a film with my wife, Legend, which is the one, not Legend, not the Will Smith one, the one with the devil with the big horns.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
And obviously, if you know that film, you would know about the devil's voice, the wah ha 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 sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And that got me thinking. I got, no way, like that. So I ran up here, and of course, the wonderful thing about the Yamaha instruments is that they have a vocoder, so you can play with the voice. You can drop it, you can mix it, you can play it. So, and I did an impression of basically the words of what I wrote, and it sounded absolutely amazing. And I sent that idea to Stuart Epps. And this is how the very first record I released, Planet Earth, which is the one where it's got the animals, it features the wolf and stuff, but it's not sung, it's spoken. And this is how it all started. It said, why don't you stop? Why are you hurting me? That sort of thing.
Yes.
And it went down a storm. I mean, we decided to release it. And I had no experience, obviously, with radio shows or anything else. And it did really well. It really did well. Throughout the Planet Earth series, which I wrote 4, I wrote Planet Earth, The King of Lions. The King of Lions is about lions, obviously, but it's very Lion King sort of, it's very James L. Jones sort of influence with the voice.
Yes.
Even though for the video I couldn't say Lion King, but at the end it says, you know my name. It is what it is. And then we wrote number 3. I decided to write a Survival Pursuit, which was a very Miami Vice sort of dance, sort of music. I wanted to create something which was sort of, if you imagine a camera following a boat at high speed, and you've got the soundtrack going, that's how I pictured it at the time. But I wanted to put it to the animals. So and that's how the track Survival Pursuit came along, where I featured the cheetah, the fastest animal, obviously. And that one did really well, to be honest. It had 1 million views on YouTube. It did really well
My
indeed.
goodness.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it was right.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was the footage or if it was the soundtrack, but it did really well. And to finish that one off is I wrote The Elephant King, which is about the elephants, obviously, and their habitat. That was the last one in that series. So with the Planet Earth series, it did really well. I mean, the first two, Planet Earth and The Lion King, got 1 million views between the two of them on YouTube.
Wow.
The first two did really well on TikTok, believe it or not.
Yes.
This was before they changed the 60-second limit on TikTok.
Yes, right.
You used to be able to upload not a short time ago up to a video up to 4 minutes, plus on TikTok. But they've now changed it to 60 seconds, which is pretty much useless for any musician, to be honest.
Of course.
But they both got 1 million views on TikTok. So they're quite popular and lots of responses and stuff. Lots and lots of radio plays as well. And quite lots of interviews like this one as well. So with Planet Earth finished, I wanted to sort of do something a bit more mainstream. Because obviously I'm a Coldplay fan, I'm an Ed Sheeran fan,
right? Yes,
famous artists.
Yeah,
I wanted to do something more poppy and that sort of thing. And this is how the song "Before I Die" came along. The very first song I sung. But the wonderful thing about it is computer technology has got now so advanced. Is I can make myself sound like Billie Eilish if I want to.
Yes, right.
And that's the wonderful thing about it. So I'm going to be open about it. The voice that you hear on this and this song, "We're Here to Stay," is a very, very strong vocoded voice to create a smooth singing voice. It's very professional and very beautifully smooth and well spoken.
It certainly is. Yes, it is. It is.
Now, with this song before, "We're Here to Stay," I decided to do the pop genre, but I wanted to go back to the animals again. Because the song "Before I Die" I actually wrote when I was in hospital having my operation. And that song is basically about what we've all been through. You're sitting there, you're waiting to go into an operation, you're absolutely scared,
Yeah, of course.
Relentless.
Yes.
And you don't know what's going to happen, do you? You're going to have a general anesthetic. Are you going to wake up? No one knows. So you do. Everybody writes a letter to their loved ones. And that's what that song is about, basically. But with this song, "We're Here to Stay," it's exactly the same sort of genre as "Before I Die." It's the same vocoded voice, which is actually the voice of Andre Paul that we've created.
Yes.
It was actually my promoter that recommended me to make a pseudonym, because Andrew Deneen, my real name, is associated with composing classical music, with the animals and that sort of thing.
Of course.
He said, my promoter said, let's make a pseudonym for you for this pop genre.
So you've got two different kinds of guises for your, kind of music, your project. Yes.
Yeah. So this is obviously the second one with Andre Paul, and again, my vocal voice. The wonderful thing about working with Stuart Epps is that he's a very, very good musician. He's multi-talented. He can play the guitar, he can play the drums, he can play the piano, the bass, and everything. And he basically assists me with my keyboard. So you hear my keyboard on there, obviously, which is the Yamaha keyboards. But then he comes along and says, right, let's put a guitar on there. Let's put a classical guitar on there. Let's put some more drums on there. And it sort of builds it up to create probably the best soundtracks I've ever heard. And obviously with the professional finish as well of Epps Records. So, and the video on this one was quite hard because I wanted to concentrate on the chimpanzee. Now, this song was originally designed for me to speak it. I originally didn't plan on using Andre Paul. It was going back to Andrew Deneen, you know,
Right.
and it was going to be love us or hate us, we're here to stay. That's how I pronounced it. But Stuart said, no, sing it. Do Andre Paul. Let's use Andre Paul again and sing it. Let's make this a singing song because it's a pop song. And there you go. That's what you have now. Is Before I Stay. We're with lots of footage of chimpanzees on the video, and obviously there's a little bit which shows the nasty deforestation that we do as the planet population increases. I'm not an activist, you know, all that sort of thing. I'm not Greta Thunberg or anybody that.
No. Yes.
But I do like doing animal music videos and stuff. So.
Of course, it's very unique as well, and we're going to be talking about We're Here to Stay a little bit later on. Now, as you mentioned, your inspiration for your songs and melodies comes from animals and the planet around us, and raises awareness among audiences to the plight of the destruction that is being caused on a global scale. Have you always been passionate about this kind of cause from a young age?
Yeah, the problem is it's a very difficult one, because obviously us as human beings, we are consumers. We are going to consume the planet and everything else. And yes, we're causing climate change. But as one person myself, there is nothing I can do about it, you know. Yeah. It's more trying to make people aware of what's happening, you know. Yes. But do you remember the fires, the LA fires that happened? Was it last year? Where everything got
it was. Yes, that's right. Yes, devastation everywhere.
Yeah, all the media was on about, oh, this celebrity's lost this celebrity's lost that. Not one news station mentioned any animal. What happened to the animals in those fires?
Exactly, yeah, because a lot of them will have lived in all of the forestation that will have been destroyed. I mean, there may have been zoos nearby or anything. There could have been people, you know, people who had animals as well, you know, as pets and things. Nothing's even mentioned about, you know, any of these different kind of environments. And it was all to do with, like, celebrity and how are people going to replace their, you know, Golden Globes and... You know.
Exactly. So,
do you know what I mean? It's like,
it's crazy, isn't it? So
it is.
So I think it's not a question of taking action. I think it's more of a case of just making people aware.
Yes.
You know, don't forget about, you know, wildlife and all that sort of thing. Everybody likes wildlife. Why don't they? You know, people are sitting in their gardens and they're watching the birds. They hear the birds and sort of thing, and then they get interested in that sort of thing. So. The wonderful thing about creating music about animals is you also learn a lot about the animals themselves. So obviously, Planet Earth, I learned a lot about the walls and what's happening with the planet on global warming and stuff. Then obviously the lions, I learned a lot about lions. It's absolutely amazing, you know, that sort of thing. And you obviously learn about cheetahs and stuff, and obviously primates as well. How alike they are. They really are. I must admit, to be honest, I think I'd rather spend time with him than my neighbour teenage son.
Noisy,
you know yeah, noisy, and the language that comes over the fence and that sort of thing. So,
yes.
So yeah, I think I'd rather spend time with him, to be honest.
Sometimes it would be better company.
Yes, exactly. So you know, it's that's the reason why I've been doing it, really, is obviously to try and make awareness, and I get a lot out of it, obviously. But the biggest things that every musician today suffers from is the cost of everything on terms of creating music. That there's a lot of amazing musicians out there. But the real handicap on that is that people don't buy music anymore. You've got two sides of the fence. You've got the celebrity side, which is like Ed Sheeran and all that sort of thing. Yes. And they make money. They're a brand, aren't they? They're like Honda car sort of thing. They are a brand.
Yes.
So they will sell handbags and all the other stuff and whatever. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
This side of the fence, musicians like me and obviously everybody else, we're not making any money at all. So everything that we do is self-funded. Obviously,
Yes.
I have a full-time job. I'm an electrician.
Right, right.
All the other musicians, most of the musicians out there, obviously have full-time jobs and stuff because they want to do this. But obviously,
That's right.
people don't buy records, CDs, and tapes anymore because they've gone. Everybody does it. If you want to listen to a track, oh, what's that? They go to YouTube, don't they, or whatever, and just type it in. Boom, there it is, and it doesn't cost them a penny.
That's right, which is all wrong, really. So hopefully with this vinyl revival that's still going on, we're going to get more people, being able to produce, their music on vinyl, and then the price will come down, you see, and then we're going to have a nice, everyone's going to have, it's going to be an open market. So people can go,
definitely.
Oh, actually, I'll have an Andrea Paul record there. Thank you very much.
That'll be nice to see my records being spun.
That's right, especially with the chimpanzee on it as well.
Yeah. Am I able to mention about what's been happening in the future? Or
you can, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, because I've got to keep on talking about the videos and your music, because the videos that you've created and you've also edited with help from I Am Thor Productions, which is based in Kent in the UK, bring the message across to show the beauty of the animals as far as I can see and the planet that we live on. And I think putting the images and message together are a great vehicle for sending a positive message out with your music as well. Are you a keen filmmaker, or do you keep more on the music side?
The best way to describe it is every time I write a track, I know what I want. I've got exactly it all figured out in my head.
Right.
The wonderful thing about Planet Earth is the first thing with all my footage, every single video that I've done, there is no AI. That's it. It's banned as far as I'm concerned.
Amazing.
There's no AI.
Right.
No AI.
That's really good.
So everything that you see on all my videos is real footage, general stock shots. You can buy. I've got a few subscriptions where you can actually go on and type in what you want, and lots and lots of footage of animals and stuff, and you can buy the high quality footage. It's licensed, obviously, and obviously you buy the license to be able to use it. And so all my videos is real footage taken with a real person behind a real camera. So there's gone to some effort to it, rather than this AI stuff is, not keen.
It is. You can tell. I mean, when you look closely at the screen, you can tell that there's something a little bit off with it. When I was watching the videos for you, for your music, when I was watching the videos, you could see that was real footage. I was thinking, have you been speaking to David Attenborough?
Yes, exactly. Isn't he doing well? Is he 100 yet? Is he? He's not quite there, is he?
I don't know if he's quite there yet. He might be 99, is he?
It's 99,
is he 100
I think.
now? I think he's 99, because there would be surely something on the television that would be celebrating the natural world.
Absolutely, definitely. If I'm anything like him at the age of 60, I'll be happy.
So that as well, exactly. Yes.
I mean, just think of it. 99.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's astonishing. It really is. Just to even get that far, it's just beyond me. It's just like
exactly.
Fantastic.
And he's still, and of course, to be passionate about something which was originally a hobby, it's like amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, every documentary that he does or any film that he makes, this absolutely astonishes me. Especially one of his recent ones. I think he was about 97, 96, 97 years old. And there's him on the, you might have seen it, there's him on the front of a RIB powerboat, and he's got the geese flying here, hasn't he? He's talking about them. He's going like 40 miles an hour on the front of his boat, going boom, boom, boom in the waves, and he's talking about the birds, flying alongside the boat. And
amazing. I wonder if you had to sign something for that, just for insurance.
Yeah, I get knackered walking up the stairs. Not that I'm getting on a high-powered rib.
But fabulous. But yeah, your videos and everything look absolutely fantastic with your music. And have you ever done any of the wildlife, photography yourself or anything like that in the past?
No.
Or is it just admiring other people's kind of footage that they've made?
The thing about wildlife photography is that it's really, really hard to do and to get a good shot. You got to sit in a tent for about a week to get one shot. The video we really struggled with was obviously the survival pursuit t-shirt chase video, because available there wasn't a lot of good high quality footage, that you could buy with cheaters. We try and get the resolution as high as we can on my videos. Always between HD and 4K. But this is where IM4 Productions come in, because he's got the high-powered computers that can cope with the 4K resolution. Unfortunately, I'm limited down. I'm down in the HD territory with this whole thing here. Because it can't quite cope, because it's quite an old. But the reason why I use this is because it's got GarageBand on it, and it's where I write all my music.
It'll be good for things like that. Yeah.
So that's the thing. So it's all HD and all high quality. So with the survival pursuit, we had to go back in time, and we had to look at stock footage from the 80s and 90s, where a lot of it was on videotapes, come from videotape sources, and that's why it has that yellowish sort of tinge, and the resolution is a lot less. Because it's come from generations of VHS videotapes.
But it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. I mean, IM4 Productions, he managed to clean it up very well with all the software that he has. But you can obviously see that it's old footage. It's not like 4K HD. A lot of footage is from the 80s and 90s. So.
But yeah, it really looks good. Everyone's going to have to check it out, and we're going to talk a bit more about that a little bit later on. Now, what animals do you have the most affection for in the natural world?
All of them, but to be honest, I have my favourites. Obviously, I am fascinated with lions and tigers because they are so powerful. They really are. I've never been blessed to go on a safari, to be honest, and I'll be honest, I don't think I could stomach it.
No.
Yeah, on a safari, yes, I would love to see it, be on that Jeep and watch the lions. But friends of mine have told me that they've gone on safari and they've actually physically seen a lion take a buffalo down. And
oh my goodness!
And he said it was happening right outside the Land Rover. He said, and he told me that the power that these lions have, they are immense creatures. All the wildlife on the safaris. He said, you're sitting on your Jeep and you see this elephant walks past, and it wants a token. It won't let you past unless you give him a carrot or something.
Right.
But hang on a minute, an elephant weighs up to 9 tons. And
you'd want to argue with an elephant.
It's exactly. Hang on a minute, you've got a lorry with its own brain and it makes its own decisions. So
that's right.
That's the wonderful thing about animals. I mean, I like all animals, obviously, but I have my favourites that always fascinates me. Obviously, the bigger the better, and the more powerful. It's like, oh, look at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even if you've got a hamster sort of thing, they're still very clever in their own way, aren't they?
It is, but I like chipmunks. You see, I used to have chipmunks actually, so I'm into like the little creatures, little furry things. But they could be quite vicious actually in the wild. So yeah, and I like meerkats as well, and I've seen them on Meerkat Manor. And they like to, they bag a punch.
And they're like a little army, aren't they? Where they're like perch up, they're like looking around, aren't they?
You may have to do one of them for us then, a song with meerkats and things on. Little
Absolutely.
creatures. Probably would be something quite dainty actually, because all of your music is very big and sounds absolutely fantastic. And by the way, how has your music been received by your followers and friends?
It's a growing audience, actually. I'm not sure if people like the videos more than my music. This my track has just been released, funny, on Friday. We'll come to that shortly.
Yes.
Which is another genre again, and this is going to go absolutely crazy. But
yeah,
with obviously because a lot of my music is classical based, with the animals and that sort of thing. But Stuart likes to add that little rock feel, so it sounds very sort of what's it? Planet Earth is very sort of Queen-like sounding at the end, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, it is.
So he likes to sort of give it that little sort of rock sort of feel, sort of genre sort of thing. So it's sort of like a classic rock.
Yes.
That was great, to be honest. It's just wow. My music is great.
It is. It's a really big sound, and I absolutely love it because that's what draws attention to you. Because when you are watching the footage, that music, without that music and such, like, I don't know, it just brings so much, drama to it, and it fits like a glove, the way that your music and the footage all just, fits together. It looks fantastic and it sounds brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah. I have my inspirations, which we can talk about. I think my biggest inspiration, it has to be Hans Zimmer, hands down.
Yes, wow.
I love his film scores, and when you see him in concert, one day, who knows if I could do something like that. The wonderful thing about Hans Zimmer, he's been going for he was in the Buggles, wasn't he?
Yes, that's right. Video killed the radio star. That's right.
And that's where he started. So since then, obviously, he's been in pop music, but he's obviously a very, very famous film score composer for films.
Yes, very much so.
And he's one of my main aspirations, because the wonderful thing about Hans Zimmer now is he's now got the fame behind him. He's now got, obviously, the money to put behind him to create those concerts that he plays in. Where is it in France? Prague, isn't it? He plays a lot of stuff.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So, but to be like him would be more of a dream than a reality, because I don't think I'll ever have that kind of backup.
You just never know. You just never know. You never know.
But I have actually got a concert in here in my head, whereas Planet Earth series could be performed live.
That would be amazing, that wouldn't it?
Yes,
you could do that in arenas. Yeah,
so funny enough, Stuart put me in touch with a very famous conductor. His name is Martin Ford. Right. And he does a lot of sort of like classical music compositions for famous artists and stuff. He's done lots and lots of stuff. He's conducted at the Royal Albert Hall. He's conducted here, and that sort of thing. And he really likes Planet Earth. And what we've been working on is we've been converting my music from the videos and my scrappy notepad to an actual physical form of music written that an orchestra could play live.
Right. My goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, so the idea for the concert would be you would have a humongous video wall up in the air, and just below the video wall you'd have a 60-piece orchestra, and obviously to the right you'd have the keyboards of me on my keyboards, like Hans Zimmer is on his piano, sort of thing. And Martin Ford conducted. So it actually, as the video plays with the animals and the voicing, obviously, why don't you stop? Because I'll be able to do that live. It would become a whole sort of like a concert that you could actually physically see. But we need to get about an hour and a half's worth of music to be able to create a full concert. At the moment, as you know, I've only got like 15 minutes worth, so we've still got a long way to go.
Yeah, you might have to have a word with an old friend of the show's, Jeff Wayne, there of War of the Worlds. He might give you a little bit of help with that.
Yeah. I've always done one, but yeah.
I love it. When I first spoke to you on the interview here today, I was thinking, am I going to speak into this man who talks like this?
Yeah, I do have a very, very deep, manly voice.
It is. I like I like that.
That's why the voice of Andre Paul, obviously, I've
Yes.
gone and you get your microphone like you got there, and you sing it into the
Yeah.
computer as you're recording it, and then you put it through the voice sampling software, and you can create me from anything to a soprano to a hamster squealing. You know,
Right. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like you said, is it chipmunks? You said you keep like the
The
chipmunks talking.
chipmunks, that's right. They used to have chipmunks.
That's it.
That's right. I like it. I like it.
It'll sound like me on helium, you know.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Now, your music is, like it's mentioned, produced by Stuart Epps, who has worked with artists such as Elton John, Led Zeppelin, Oasis, Twisted Sister, Bill Wyman, Kiki D, George Harrison, and Robbie Williams, to name but a few. What has it been like working with a producer of this caliber?
I love Stuart Epps. I really do. If you're listening, Stuart, I do love you. I'm sorry, I do. He's absolutely fantastic to work with. If something's rubbish, he will tell you. Because I have sent him clips of music, and he's going, "What's that?" sort of thing, you know. But obviously, on the other side of the coin, I've sent him clips of music. He's gone, "I like that. Let's do that," you know, sort of thing. I'm like, hold on, I got to save up some money first before we can produce another record, you know. But no, I love Stuart Epps. He's actually great to work with. He's so experienced in what he can do, and obviously he's got lots of musicians behind him that obviously help play certain instruments. Like a saxophone player comes in and does some saxophone work and that sort of thing. And he does occasionally record up at Abbey Road as well. So, you know, it's, you know, having that experience behind you really does pay off, you know. It's pretty much me being an electrician. You know, a customer rings me up and says, "Oh, my socket's tripping," and I just walk in and I go, "Right, it's that," without even looking at it, and I go to it and boom, there it is. That's it's experience, isn't it? It's years and years and years of experience.
It is,
and that's where it pays off.
It definitely doesn't. It comes over in the sound there. Now, your new single, "We're Here to Stay," is a beautiful song. Where did the inspiration come from for the song?
Well, I originally wrote it as a Planet Earth number 5 for me to speak it in my deep voice. Because I was always thinking about, I've got other ones on the production, like for the Planet Earth. So originally, "We're Here to Stay" was originally going to be very Planet Earth, very classical sort of genre. Obviously, me speaking, you know, it'd be "Love us or hate us, we're here to stay." That sort of thing.
Yes.
But Stuart said, no. It's too sort of. It's not like the other ones. It's more poppy sort of sound.
Yes.
So it said, let's get Andre Paul's voice onto it and see how it sounds. I made a very rough pilot video on my little software here before AM4 got hold of it. And everybody I showed it to almost ended up in tears because it's such a heartwarming video.
It is.
With the way the chimpanzees instantly cuts to this deforestation because we're cutting down their homes and stuff. Everybody I've shown the pilot to and the rough sort of pilot song, they've gone, wow. And they've got a tear in their eye and they wipe their eye and they go, that's really something, that is. And that's what made me obviously decide to release it. So I wanted to write a song. It wasn't originally called "We're Here to Stay." I originally called it "I'm a Chimpanzee." But that's how it was written first of all. But as time went on, I thought, no, we can't call it that. It's rubbish.
No.
So you listen to the words, and obviously on the chorus it says, "We're here to stay," and that became the name of the song.
It is a beautiful song as well, and that video, everyone's going to have to check that out as well on your website. Do you have any future videos of music you can tell us about? Yes,
absolutely. So this is where things are getting interesting now, because I've just recently joined up with a very clever, semi-famous DJ. His name is Paul Avrix, and he's worked on various different DJ songs, and that's what he used to be very big in the clubs in the 90s and sort of like 2000, when sort of like you had like club music and all that sort of stuff. And he said to me, he says, I really like that song you've written, Before I Die. He says, can I do a club remix of it? And I said, absolutely, of course you can. Take it, go and do what you want with it. So, and then he gets in touch with me and says, a couple of weeks later, says, I've done it. Do you want to have a listen? I was like, oh my God, where did that come from? Sort of thing. So, but it really is a very good club. It's like Robert Miles' Children, that sort of genre.
Excellent.
So it's that sort of performance and power. And with the dancing beat, it's quite fast. It's 136 beats a minute. So it's real dance, real sort of...
Ibiza classic.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So Before I Die, Average Club Mix. Now, the thing is with club music, I've always been semi-interested in club music because I was a bit of a raver when I was younger.
Right. Of course.
And, it's not really Stuart's genre, to be honest. Stuart is a rock musician, like classical, We're Here to Stay, classical guitars. He's not interested in pumping beats and, the drops and everything else, where Paul Avrix is. So we decided to release this record on a record label called Spigra. Now, Spigra are actually my publisher. They're my main publisher for all of Planet Earth. And I got in touch with them and said, look, I've got a club mix of, Before I Die. It's completely transformed the song. It's not about dying anymore. It's about getting up and getting going, sort of thing. She listened to it and she went, wow, I want to release that. And that's exactly what we've done. So
excellent.
I created a very simple video for it because with this being a club track, it's more about the music than the video. Obviously, you have a pop video and the videos will grow. So I kept it as a journey. I decided to make it on a train. And a lot of the footage on it is literally, I went and got a first class ticket, to sort of like to Wales, and I stuck the camera on the table, press record, and as the train speeds up to 128 miles an hour, whatever it is, that's all you see is the land going past the window.
Excellent. And I like it.
I added a few extra stock shots, but obviously through my licensed supplier, of like the train from a drone sort of point of view. So I kept it very simple, but the music is really powerful. And for promotion for this one, we're doing something a little bit daring with this one, because obviously it's had a good review, because it's Paul Mavericks. He's now gone to Ibiza for the summer. He plays in a lot of clubs out in Ibiza, and he's taken this song with him, obviously, because he says he's going to play
Excellent.
it out there. Now, it's had a sort of a fairly good response on YouTube. It's slower than this one, obviously, because it's the dance music. The problem is with YouTube is that you either get them or you don't. If they don't like it, they scroll away in 10, 15 seconds.
That's right.
They either stay and watch the video or they've gone straight away.
That's right.
And the thing with Andre Paul's Club Mix is that they seem to be swiping away because obviously they want to watch videos, people being silly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Paul came up with this wonderful idea. He said, why don't we do a little online dance competition? You know, on TikTok and YouTube, when you're scrolling through the shorts, you sort of see something silly like, what was this? Just recently, Blue Shirt Guy. I don't know if you've seen it. You might have seen it yourself.
I've seen that one,
where he's just doing a dance to this one piece of music. And every page I turn to, all social media, there's that track. and the people doing silly
Oh my
dances
goodness!
to it.
Yeah.
And this is where
Crazy.
Paul said, this is what we need to do. He said, let's try it. So I will mix you up a quick 30-second high-powered piece of music with Andre Paul's voice to go with, obviously, the Before I Die dance track. But it's more powerful, so it's in the maximum part of the music where it's dancey, and then he mixed the voice back over it, sort of thing. So it's a 30-second clip. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get people to dance to it and send in their clips of them dancing to this.
Excellent. That would be great. Yeah.
And so this was the first idea. And believe it or not, a relative of mine says, let's start it off. I'm going to do it. So I've got a 60-year-old man doing this dance, walking along the pavement. I was on the other side of the road trying to film it with my iPhone. It's like, oh, there's a car coming, stop. Just trying to get 30 seconds. Yeah, we did it about 8 times to do this. And people sort of people go, what's that man doing? You know, sort of thing. So yeah, we're funny enough, keep your eye on it, because we're releasing that this afternoon, the first one, to that little dance. And we want people to listen to the music, have a little dance, video yourself and send it in. And obviously the highest winner will get the highest thumbs up, won't they? So it's going to be quite interesting sort of, you know, and of course then for me as a musician, that gets my song and music out there and played and more recognised as well. So
of course it does as well. And by the way, where can listeners follow you and buy your music?
Right, okay. So you can go to any streaming channel, just type in Andre Paul, and there it is. I'm on all the streaming channels. I'm on all the social medias, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, on there. Just type in Andre Paul and boom, there I am. And you can also look up my other works as well, which is where you'll find the Planet Earth series with the animals and everything else. So yeah, just Andre Paul, nice and simple.
Excellent. And yes, good luck with that video and people joining in with the dance and everything. I think it's going to be really, really good.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Now, the vinyl revival is here, so I must ask you, what was the first vinyl record you ever bought, and what record and track would you play me if you had a record player beside you?
Well, believe it or not, the very, very first record I actually played was a nursery rhyme. I do remember it quite well. I can't remember the exact age. I must have been 6 or 7 years old. And my parents bought me a Fisher-Price little record player with a little speaker on it. It wasn't the Fisher-Price one with the round plastic disc where it plays a little music box.
Which had the little teeth on. That were good.
That's right,
ding, ding. Did you have the same as me, a Fisher-Price Frisco Disco? Because that's what actually started me off with the radio, you see.
Oh, there we go. It started me off at
so that might be what you had, because it was red.
It was red, but it was an official record player, so you could put vinyl on it proper.
Yes.
LPs and vinyl and stuff. And that, I remember my very first records, they were nursery rhymes.
Right.
You know, so they were the very first. Obviously, we've gone through progression of time, but if I had a record player sitting right here, I think right now I would play you my club mix of Before I Die, or if you don't like club music, I will play you We're Here to Say.
Excellent.
The funny thing is we are getting a press of the club mix of Before I Die press. We have to, because of the DJs in Ibiza.
Yes.
A lot of DJs are still using vinyl because they can't get on with the digital turntables that you use. So, funny enough, last Saturday, I updated my photos. My record was first played in a club in London with Paul
Amazing.
At the decks. Yeah, and he invited me up there to go and have a listen, and I went up to this club. I hadn't been to a nightclub for years. And he said, come up to the DJ booth. So this is him. And we played that, that record on digitally wise. But you see the two Technics turntables there, and you sort of think a lot of people are still using turntables. So we are looking into getting some records pressed for people to be able to buy.
Yeah.
Bad news is that it costs £60 to get a record pressed today. Not many people are going to spend £60 on a record. I can tell you that now.
No.
Unless you're, a professional DJ. So I'm probably going to get 10 printed off maximum. I'm actually planning to give them away to famous DJs that want it. More than I'm not going to ask them to pay £60 for a record. It's crazy. Why would you do that? The price of a brand new record today, if it was real, would be about sort of 10, 11 quid, wouldn't it? I'd imagine it'd be sort of like that sort of amount of money. But £60 for one press on a record is absolutely crazy. So you can't expect people to pay that. I wouldn't even ask it. So.
No, that's the thing. Yes, I get odd bits of vinyl sent through, but not a lot, because it just costs a lot of money.
It does. It's very expensive.
Very expensive. Yes, it's the big companies that I get the stuff through. Sometimes some independent stuff as well, but it tends to be 7-inch singles, which are a bit cheaper. But But the DJ, you see, if you've got I don't see many DJs doing scratching with a 7-inch single. You've got to have the 12-inch single,
They're a bit small.
You'd be going.
Small, aren't they?
You'd be like that with little hands.
I know, it's that. But now, obviously, with the digital age, you've got the motorized platters, haven't you? But the biggest ones that you can get, I think, unless you go for a massive expensive one, they're like 7-inch, aren't they, in diameter? The biggest.
They are. That's right. That's right.
I think Paul Averett's uses a 7-inch Hercules system.
Yes.
Which is obviously they spin like records and keep turning.
Yes.
And you put your finger on it, it slows it down and stuff. So that's what he uses.
Yeah.
But he said it's nothing like vinyl. Vinyl all the way. Any DJ would say vinyl.
Definitely, yes. And of course, I'm part of the vinyl revival, you see. I'm keeping it alive, and I have been for nearly the last 10 years. So long live the vinyl. Long live the vinyl. Now, you're not going to believe this. We've actually run out of time. So if you can stick around, but it's been such a privilege having you on the show. And I'd like to wish you all the very best with We're Here to Stay. And of course, your fabulous dance mix as well, which hopefully I'll be able to give it a good old spin on my radio shows as well. So finally, would you be able to introduce your new single, We're Here to Stay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, listeners. Enjoy my music. Andre Paul, We're Here to Stay.
Thank you very much, Andre. And would you like to come on the show again, or have I frightened you away?
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
More the merrier.
Fabulous. Well, all the best to Andre Paul, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.
Lovely. Thank you very much.